I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
Alrighty, right. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to our channel here at Underdeveloped. Live long and prosper.
Yeah, live long and prosper.
We should probably be saying at the end of the video, but whatever.
Yeah,
we'll say it again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna do it over. Fuck it.
Okay.
Alrighty, right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Alrighty, right. What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to our channel here, Tyrell and Nikolai, and we are today and today we are going to watch a movie, Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. Full disclosure, we did watch this like a year and a half ago. And I do apologize. My reaction was not the best for that. I do tend to sleep a lot during like reaction, especially like back then, because I was working like a full-time job. Like 12, 13 hours. The film industry is like very demanding. And I came here, you know what I mean, after hour-long Uber ride, you know what I mean, and then it was late at night, and I ate a big meal. And I was doing that for a while, so a lot of those overreactions, I was like very fucking like narcoleptic. You know what I mean? I try to kid myself to you know, I basically try to kid myself into like, yeah, no, you could do it, even though it's like 11 o'clock, you have work next day in the morning, you know what I mean? You just work 12 hours, you know what I mean? I was overstimulated with phones and whatever else, and then now I'm like sitting down watching a film and thinking I was actually gonna, you know, make it through, you know, dieting a lot more, so I'm like, I feel a lot better, I have more time on my hands, so, you know, I'm not as tired. But once I start working again, it's probably gonna all go right back. But I'm gonna try to get a better handle on that. And so, and recently, I haven't really been, you know, sleeping as much. So now that, you know what I mean. So I looked at the video. I don't really look at the edits too much. So when I was looking at it, I'm like, you know what? No, some of these commenters are right. Like it is an atrocious reaction. Easily one of my worst. Because either I have way too much energy and I'm always talking, or I'm like super like drozed off. And that's usually when I just had a big meal. I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like I've worked probably hours, you know, and it's late at night on top of that. So, you know, try to do that. Try to watch a movie at that late. I mean, sitting up, bright lights in front of your face, you know what I mean? You're trying to be focused, you know, it's, you know, it was like, it wasn't the best, you know what I mean? Like and also my attention span is not like the greatest. So like if I'm not being stimulated, you know what I mean? And I'm already tired already, I'm just gonna pass out. So I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean to give you that subpar reaction. And it's been over a year since we last watched it, because that constantly kept getting canceled, kept getting like,
yeah, Paramount kept blocking it. So it's all to really get to a place where we can post Paramount content at all, but it's sitting down again.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean?
Now that we finally got around that, we can start putting this up.
And there's been enough time, so, and we're going to watch the others. So, we already watched 3, so 3 should be coming out soon, or ready out.
Captain, I'm getting something on the distress channel on speakers.
Yes, I remember MLK. She was she thought what she was doing was really important, which she is. A lot of people don't get that, you know, like representation in the film is a big deal.
It is,
you know what I mean? Because film is a depiction of like our reality in a sense. So, and it's dominated by white people, at least historically. So when you see like a black person in this major role, it's a big deal.
It's not even a major role in the story.
Not a major role, but in a major project portrayed. I'm not done. In a major project, you know what I mean? Major sci-fi film is a regular cast member, you know what I mean? And an iconic cast member at that. And on top of that, being like a smart, capable person, multilingual, like, you know, it's good representation because people. This is the 80s. This is the age of like Superfly and Blackula and Dolomite and all these fucking black exploitation kind of films.
Well, keep in mind, they've been doing this even earlier since the 60s.
Yeah, and yes, so she was doing the genocide rights, which is like a racist time in history. A really racist time in history. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so during the Civil War rights, seeing a black woman portraying this, you know what I mean, this echelons of like film and television, you know, it's the beginning of like more to come, you know what I mean?
I've lost their signal. Visual. Battle station. Activate shield. Shield activated. Inform the Klingons we are on a rescue mission. They're jamming all the frequencies, Captain. Mr. Sulu, get us out of here. Evasive action. Engineering, damage report. Engage auxiliary tower. Prepare to return fire.
You're really going all out with this.
Shields collapsing, Captain.
They got us to the guy from Space Odyssey.
Kinda.
If you know what I'm talking about. Oh, that shot.
Activate escape pods. Send out the wrong point. All hands abandon ship. Repeat. All hands abandon ship. Any suggestions, Admiral?
The Klingons don't take prisoners.
Look at him walking in like a badass. The light.
He's walking like that. Like damn right. You know who's in charge. I'm in charge.
Graves, to the briefing room.
Or he told me he was in the episode of thing, right?
Yeah, Khan was in an episode of Star Trek in the first season before Chekhov was introduced as a character, which means that him recognizing Chekhov makes no sense.
What do you want with us?
It's kind of like the only major flaw in the movie, in my opinion.
I, on the other hand, am in a position to grant nothing. What you see is all the remains of the ship's company crew of the Botany Bay. Marooned here 15 years ago, Captain James D. Kirk. You mean you have a captain,
But didn't the original Star Trek only go on for like for one season? Wasn't like the original Star Trek only for like one season?
No, went on for 3.
Oh, okay.
You have a captain, Save your strength. These people had sworn to live and die at my command 200 years before you were born. Do you mean he never told you the tale? Formule's your captain, no? Never told you how the Enterprise picked up at Botany Bay, lost in space. Year 1996, my 7th ship's company, incredibly fixed. Not everybody but Admiral Kirk.
Oh, that pisses him off.
Yep. He
How dare he get promotion?
he leveled up.
Never told you how Admiral Kirk sent 70 of us into exile. This barren sand with only the contents of his cargo bays to sustain us.
You lie! In City Alpha 5 there was life. A fair chance.
This is City Alpha 5! SETI Alpha 6 exploded 6 months after we were left here. The shock shifted over to this planet and everything's laid waste.
Damn.
Yeah.
Never bothered to check my progress. It was only the fact of my genetically engineered intellect that I would survive. On Earth, 200 years ago, I was a prince with power of millions.
Captain Kirk was your host. You repaid his hospitality by trying to steal his ship and murder him.
You didn't expect to find me. You thought this was setting after 6. Why are you here?
Boy, strong.
Yeah. He's strong as shit. Too bad he's just most of the time on a spaceship, but that strength contributes literally nothing.
Alpha 5's only remaining indigenous life form.
Nice.
What do you think? They killed 20 of my people,
Wow.
Damn.
including my beloved wife.
This man lost a lot. See why he's not happy.
Oh, not all at once. Not instantly, to be sure. You see, they're young, enter through the ears, and wrap themselves around cerebral cortex. This has the effect of rendering the victim extremely susceptible to suggestion.
Really?
Later, as they grow, follows madness. Death.
Imagine having a being grow inside your skull.
Yeah.
Ugh. I can't imagine how painful that'd be.
It's brutal.
But these are pets, of course. Not quite domesticated.
Fine. Captain Kirk was only doing his duty.
Jeez.
That's better. Now tell me, why are you here?
Sir, may I ask you a question?
What's on your mind with him?
The Kobayashi Maru, sir.
Are you asking me for playing out that scenario now?
On the test, sir. Will you tell me what you did? I would really like to know.
Lieutenant, you are looking at the only Starfleet cadet who ever beat the no-win scenario.
How?
I reprogrammed the simulation so it was possible to rescue the ship.
What?
He cheated, changed the conditions of the test. Cut a commendation for original thinking.
Potato, potato. Potato, potato.
I don't like to lose.
Then you
Tomato,
face
tomato.
that situation. Face death.
I don't believe in a no-win scenario. Kirk to Spock. It's 2 hours. Are you ready?
Right on schedule, Admiral. Just give us your coordinates and we'll beam you aboard.
All right. I don't like to lose.
We were immobilized. Captain Spock said it needs days.
You of all people go by the book. Spock. You know Dr. Marcus fine, of course.
Hello, Mr. Spock.
I'm taking this batch to sick bay.
By the book?
By the book. Regulation 46A. Transmissions are being monitored during battle.
No unencoded messages on an open channel. You lied.
I exaggerated. Hours instead of days. Now we have minutes instead of hours.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a thing where Vulcans aren't supposed to lie. It's a cultural thing.
Vulcans exaggerate.
They're inoperative low
I mean, Wolf Ferris, he is having.
Not much, Admiral. We have partial main power. That's it.
It's the exaggerated part.
We can do in 2 hours.
Wow, so pretty.
Yeah, pretty ass nibble in space. Barely see each other, just shoot. Waiting to bump into each other. Oh, looks like someone's getting the drop on down.
Target, sir. Basil, get off of this, sir. Best guess, Mr. Certified already.
Oh, that is fire.
They got them too. They probably do it. That means it should be a big open space out the window. It's gonna be sucked out.
Torpedoes ready, sir.
Sure. Fire.
Shit.
Oh, Bobby, did you pay that guy yet? You do?
I paid money after he does that.
But he's doing it.
Yes, he is. He said he received the payment.
Uhura. Send to Commander Reliant. Prepare to be boarded.
Aye, sir. Commander Reliant, this is Enterprise. Surrender and prepare to be boarded. Enterprise to Reliant. You are ordered to surrender your vessel. Respond.
Ooh, look at that face.
Yep, he looks sexy.
Yeah, Ricardo Montalban never looked better.
Reliant, come in, Reliant. You are ordered to surrender your vessel. Enterprise to
He gives me
Reliant.
craving the Hunter
You are
vibes.
ordered to surrender your vessel.
Yeah, kind of
Respond.
how he looks, yeah. Which is kind of ironic since this actor is most well known for wearing a suit all the damn time.
Or really, what?
Hey, he was a TV star back in the day in a show called Fantasy Island.
Oh, yeah. I know. I heard that show.
Young Kirk. The game's not over.
Seems over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're near the end of the movie already.
Yeah, one last final fuck you, though.
Mm-hmm.
To the last.
Damn, he's about to do it.
Remember. Time.
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
4,000 kilometers. Try to make it early.
Yeah.
Kobayashi Maru.
You can't get away from hell's heart. I stab at thee. For hate's sake, I split my last breath at thee. Sir, the mains are back online. Scotty, go. My God, Karen, look at it. Engine room. Well done, Scotty. Jim, I think you better get down here.
Yeah, should.
Yeah, you should.
Holmes?
Your best friend's gonna dive right in, boys.
Oh, yeah, dude taking iteration blowing in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, take the call.
Yeah, enough radiation on it to make Mary Carey blush.
Wow.
Look at
It
that.
almost feels like apocalypse.
All right.
No! Go find the whole compartment. Time. He's dead already. It's too late.
Yeah. So what happens when you take radiation to the face?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The radiation power up a warp core.
Poor Spock.
What's that? Alright, no sound.
Spock!
Sad. Get up. Oof. Yeah. The burns he's staying alone.
Ship. I'm in danger. Yes. Brief. The needs of many outweigh the needs of the few.
Legendary.
Or the one.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Kobayashi Maru test.
Face.
What do you think? My solution. Spock.
No, Shelby. Your friend. Live long. Prosper. Prosper.
Do it. Come on, do it. Make the. Come on, Kirk.
I know, he's not even trying to do it. It's not that hard, Kirk. Please.
I mean, just you have to, you kind of have to like rewire your brain a bit. But when I first did it was weird to actually. My face never did this before, so I was like, actually think about it. No. Well, it's not that hard to do it first. You gotta keep this finger and this finger together. Stuck them together.
We are assembled here today to pay final respects to our honored dead.
Okay, that was Star Trek Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Okay, you had it correctly.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan.
I was just playing with you.
No, you wasn't, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so yeah,
So, what do you feel about the second time going around?
Since I don't remember much of the first time watching it, like I remember bits and pieces and watching it kind of activated certain parts of my mind. I was more half in the back in that one. I was a little more tired watching it now. For the second time, I don't like it that much in the first time, but seeing it again and like understanding the point of it all, kind of makes it a little better. I still prefer Star Trek 3. Star Trek 3 to me just had a lot more interesting moments, and on top of that, I just really love like the set pieces and cinematography. It was just a beautiful looking movie, so I was just amazed by that. I was amazed by the shots. I was amazed by the set pieces, and just the plot was more intriguing. Like the whole weird Vulcan thing was just intriguing to me.
Well, in that case, I bet you'll be happy to know that Star Trek 4 is directed by Leonard Nimoy, who also directed Star Trek 3. So
Cool.
yeah,
he did a good job with that one. But this one had a lot of like the tackle the whole thing. The tackle the whole theme is pretty much niggas are getting old.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about finding yourself about finding yourself as you get older, like and kind of like old bee mentality, I guess.
Yeah, it's exactly, and it's like, and they face mortality because he realized that because in reality we are getting old. You know what I mean? I mean, not like how we used to. Like, you know what I mean? Like Pops just died. I was like the number 2. You know what I mean? Ace. You know what I mean? Like, so he's also a big part of who he was. You know, it was a reminder of like pretty much his golden days, and he's gone. So now he's pretty much by himself, at least for now.
Yeah, but as old experiences die out, new ones arise. And now he's part of his life.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a good point because like the whole point is basically like even though like he is like old, even though he is aging. You know what I mean? And he's realizing that you know what I mean? Like maybe it isn't over. Like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to go just because I'm at a certain point in my life. But then he's also faced with a serious mortality, you know what I mean, situation at the end. But however, you know what I'm saying, the message still doesn't waver. You know, like even with that, there's still, you know what I mean, like more to do. You know what I mean? There's still more to adventures to have, even if you have lost a big part of what you once were. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just real. Life is like that, but are you gonna let life overcome? You know, or are you just gonna succumb to like just like, you know, just the whole like monotony of just like, you know, aging and not be able to do what you could, or are you gonna go out fighting? You know what I mean? And I mean the message also kind of goes to Khan as well. That's what made Khan an interesting villain, because Khan is clinging to the past. You know what I mean? He's full of vengeance and he's not thinking forward. You know what I mean? Like to the point where that it was his own undoing. Like he, you know what I mean, got what he wanted. You know what I mean? Still, you know what I mean? Still wasn't enough. You know?
Yeah.
Like he's holding on to past grudges, holding on to his former self.
Honestly, probably because he could have accomplished a hell of a lot if he just let it go.
Exactly. And so him and so that's what makes this movie, you know, good and interesting. Like these two, you know, the antagonists and protagonists, they mirror each other. The eternal conflicts. The intrinsic conflicts.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Collide.
Yeah, we're in the money there.
You know what I mean? And the difference is that, you know what I mean, Kurt wising up. He didn't. He's stubborn in his own ways. And that's probably most villains. That's why they don't get their way. Because they're stubborn egotists, essentially.
Yeah. And that's very much what Han is, a stubborn egotist. Even more than Kirk is, arguably.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think we did a good job covering all this.
Yeah. Well, we're saying that my score for this movie, probably give it like a solid 80, 84.
I think I'd give it an 88, personally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're a Star Trek fan, and this is one of the biggest Star Trek movies, so I'm not surprised you'll give it a high score.
Yeah, like, I feel like...
I mean, 84 is high, but, like, it's not like... It means good, but I don't love it. You know, like,
yeah. Yeah, and that's perfectly fair score. I think that's a perfectly fair attitude to go, a perfectly fair score to give. Like, I think this is, like, I really like how it just, like, uses the experience themes very well throughout the story. Like, it's just very tied in the narrative in a very natural, feeling way.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say okay. Like, overall, it's just, like, a good product from beginning to end. Like, I can see it being slow. I can see it being slow for some audiences, but overall, as like a more cerebral kind of movie, I think it does its job very well. It's like, kind of like an old submarine movie, especially with how the two ships kind of like try to locate each other in the water, or in this case in space, and fire their torpedoes at each other. It's very much like that kind of vibe.
Yeah. I think that's the point I was making last time. He was like, "No, this has a lot of adventure," and I'm like, "Not really." You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, when I was like. My impressions going into this movie, like, this was going to be like a heavy action adventure, kind of like some Star Wars vibes, but this is very different. You know what I mean? So I was kind of disappointed I didn't get that adventure. But however, you know what I mean, you do get some action, but it's not really about that. It's just, you think it's like that because it's in space and you have two ships fighting one another, but it's, as Nick said, it's much more of a cerebral kind of like. Also, just about life, man. It's very grounded. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
You know, like they try to like this is obviously a very different tone from Star Wars. Like, yes, you can say Star Trek, Star Wars, but it has somewhat similar, like very like one or two similar things about it.
There is a little overlap,
a little tiny bit, but overall, that's fair to say this almost completely different products because it's just the tone is so very different. Yeah. The only difference is like the space travel kind of works the same. You know what I mean? And it is galactic aliens stuff like that, civilizations. And some civilizations have weird powers, shit like that. So, like, so as far as that goes, that's the similarities kind of end. Everything else is pretty much like the whole story is different. What they do is different. It's about space explorers. It mimics like the world itself. There's actually a lot of differences to the point where it's where I can fairly say this obviously it's pretty much two completely separate IPs.
Yeah. Like they have very little in common. Yeah. Even though they do it, even though like those are some pretty damn big things they do have in common. Yeah. But in terms of sheer quantity, it's not.
It really much falls into kind of genre it is.
It is. It's very.
But like overall, just completely different kind of stories. Other than that, like it's the both space, but like it's different tones, almost different genres within the respective like kind of world they build. But just because it's like that's more of like a fantasy. Star Wars is more of like a fantasy.
Honestly, Star Wars is pretty much just
opera.
Star Wars is pretty much just a fantasy movie, but in space.
Yeah, fantasy movie in space, but this is more like a grounded sci-fi heavy. You know what I mean? Mimicking real world politics, kind of. You know what I mean? Like
because it does
understanding each other's ideals. You know what I mean? Moving forward as a civilization. You know what I mean? It contains armies, scientists. Like it's very. Even though Star Wars does have that too, but it's much more Hollywoodized than Star Trek is.
Exactly. Like the thing is. There's not a lot in one that you won't find in the other. They just kind of generally focus on different things.
Absolutely.
Like there are Star Wars stories that focus on morality and philosophy of things, but those are very few. Well, that's kind of a huge thing in Star Trek. One of the more common things you see in a lot of Star Trek projects.
Yeah, exactly. Well, saying that, I think that's our reaction review to Star Trek. I hope you enjoyed this second go around. This is going to be a waste of time. We deleted the first one, so this is much better. Because. And it's almost like a first reaction because I pretty much forgot most of this. Because on top of Bailey, being up and watching the first one, I also watched this it was 20 year and a half ago, probably. So it was it has been a minute. Not a year and a half, but definitely a year ago, earlier last year.
I think it's
almost a year.
I want to say maybe 9 months.
Yeah, so it's been a minute. You know what I mean? We watched a lot of movies and shows at that time. So
yeah, it has. But that being said, folks, thanks again for joining us here today for this reaction of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell to keep updated with all of our new content, including some more Star Trek movies.
Sayonara, bitches.
But this is
and live long and prosper.